Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Dan Mason, PhD, once again with another YouTube atheist on a rant. Let's begin. The claim that all verifiable evidence justifies my position as far as it's possible to verify is not an argument. It's a self-referential shield. It assumes that what is verifiable is the only standard for truth, which is itself a metaphysical claim. Verificationism collapses when you ask for verification of the verification standard. You cannot empirically test whether empirical testing is the ultimate judge of reality. That's a philosophical commitment, not a scientific conclusion. It is circular at its root. The dismissal of the metaphysical because it is indistinguishable from non-existence rests on a category error. The esoteric, by definition, is not subject to physical measurement. To demand empirical evidence of the non-empirical is like asking to weigh a moral value or to photograph the number 7. The metaphysical is not hidden in the shadows waiting to be discovered by microscopes. It is the precondition for why logic, mathematics, causality, and uniformity matter at all. You cannot verify the rules of logic using the scientific method without first assuming those rules hold. Logic itself is a metaphysical construct. It is not material. Yet no rational argument can function without it. To deny the metaphysical is to deny the ground on which you stand while trying to build a house. The claim that Platonic forms and foundationalism have failed for 2,500 years or more is simply false. They have not failed. They have been debated. The very fact that they persist as active schools of thought shows they have not been buried by reason. It is anti-realism and relativism that dissolve under scrutiny because they cannot account for universal, immaterial, and abstract entities such as numbers, moral laws, or logic itself. Suppose truth is nothing more than biological wiring or pragmatic coherence. In that case, your belief that you must go to work on Monday is not rational. It is just a sound survival strategy. You're not believing it because it's true. You're thinking it because evolution programmed you to act that way. In that framework, you don't know anything in the classical sense. You have behavioral patterns. Knowledge becomes an illusion under this view. The appeal to explanatory parsimony is also misapplied here. Parsimony is not the same as truth. It is a heuristic, a helpful tool, but not a law. The simplest explanation is not always the right one. Sometimes the truth is complex. The entire apparatus of mathematics, the irreducible fine-tuning of physical constants, the existence of consciousness, and the complex problem of qualia are not adequately explained by a flat, anti-realist, naturalistic worldview. The metaphysical realm is not extra baggage. It is the necessary explanation for why there is something rather than nothing, why there are unchanging logical laws, and why there is a persistent expectation of order. The principle of sufficient reason also works against the anti-realist position. You cannot say, things just are, without collapsing into arbitrary faith in brute facts. Why is there a rational order? Why does math work? Why is the universe intelligible? Saying it just is not sufficient. A worldview without metaphysical grounding cannot explain the why. It can only describe the what. It offers no ultimate cause, no foundation for the coherent structures it takes for granted. The claim that moral relativism is biologically grounded evaporates when it meets reality. The assertion assumes that ethical values are evolutionary artifacts with no binding authority. Yet every human being intuitively knows that torturing children for fun is evil, not just impractical, not just socially disadvantageous, but evil. Your conscience screams it. If your worldview tells you that such things are not actually wrong but only evolutionarily disfavored, then you are not living by reason. You are suppressing what you know to be true. You close with a sarcastic nod to skepticism,